What's happening, everybody, man? Yo, this about to be probably a little quick one, man. It's something quick right here from your boy Rick, man. It's LIB Media, man. I seen something that I had to address. So for y'all that know that's been a part of this LIB family, y'all know out of all the sports that we talk about, football is by far my favorite sport. So I'm super excited for football season to be coming back. So I saw something that piqued my interest, so I decided I want to hop on here and talk with y'all real quick. So ESPN. I'm on the ESPN website, and they're ranking the top 25 NFL players since the year 2000. So I'm actually go ahead and let me see if I can. Let me see. Boom. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen with y'all. That way y'all can kind of roll through the players with me, and I can give y'all my opinion on all these people so far that we got. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like some of them might be cool, some of them might be kind of crazy, but because we're talking about since 2000 now, so y'all gotta remember, like anybody, some of these players got drafted before 2000, and so you can't include the years before that, right? So let's scroll down this list and look at the top 25. So Brady's first. That's understandable. Most people got Brady as the GOAT. I get that. That's really that. Patrick Mahomes is kind of crazy. Only because he ain't played about so long. Like he's clearly the best player in the NFL right now. Like he's next in line. He's gonna be great. He's gonna go down as an all-time great. But just I'm a person that believe in longevity. I believe in longevity and accomplishments. I mean, he got the Super Bowls and stuff already, so he's already a Hall of Famer easily. But if his career ended right now, I don't know if it'll be the same as like I think some people that might be behind him, right? So Aaron Donald, he made the Pro Bowl every year he was in the league. 8-time first team All Pro. The most dominant lineman of this era, of course. That spot is noted, but we just got to see who else is on this list. Like Peyton Manning, for example, right? Peyton Manning only got 2 Super Bowls, and he got less Super Bowls and stuff than Patrick Mahomes, but he's a 7-time All Pro, and he was competing with Brady at the same time, and he was winning All Pros and stuff over Brady while they were in the league together. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the records that Brady got, he got those records actually after Peyton retired. So Brady kept playing, and now he retired with all these records that Peyton actually had before. You know what I'm saying? So if we were being fair, pound for pound, Peyton was really up there. Brady just won the Super Bowls and stuff. So that's what I mean by like the longevity. Randy Moss at number 5 is, I mean, Randy is clearly one of the best receivers. He's one of the top 3 receivers of all time. Most people got him number 2 behind Jerry. I think Jerry's one of the best football players of all time. So that's understandable. But since 2000, Randy came in the league in like 97. His first 3 years with the Vikings were 3 of his best years. So I think you got to realize that they were before 2000. But Randy is an icon. So it's really, it's kind of really, what that is. Calvin Johnson. I agree with him being on this list. I don't know if he should be this high, but Megatron was in the small amount of time he played in the league, he was super dominant. He do got the NFL single season record. I remember that season we thought he was gonna get 2,000 yards. He retired off of injuries and stuff. If he played even longer, he would have had some stats that he would have probably been the only person that even got close to catching Jerry stat wise. So I get that. jjwatt was actually super dominant as well. And if we talk about since 2000, he is up there with Aaron Donald. Like he had 3 DOPs, man, DPOYs. jjwatt was something serious, man. Like in this time, I think people kind of forgot because the injuries that he started to get kind of derailed his career, but him as an individual player was three DPOYs put you in the upper echelon of people that in a lot of people up there. And so I can agree with him and Aaron Donald. I just don't know about the ordering. See, now Ray Lewis is at 8. We're talking about since 2000, the 2000 Ravens. They won the Super Bowl, and so that's when Ray Lewis really became the dominant person that he was. He had a 12-year span. He played a couple years before that, but you know, he won DPOY. Like, see, Ray Lewis, I would have above. Well, stats wise, probably not. But Ray is an icon. Aaron Rodgers at 9. He got the talent and the MVPs, but he don't got the Super Bowls. You would think he would have more, being that how early he won his first one. But football is a team sport. I'm not one of them guys that just put it all on the quarterback. I'm like, it's a team sport. You got to kind of figure that out. So I don't know about him being at 9. Darrelle Revis, I can agree with. I think Darrelle Revis was clearly the best corner of his time. Darrelle was probably the best man-to-man corner I've seen play since Dion. So I have Revis in a high regard. I think the 2009 season was the best season by a cornerback ever. That's including Dion. But when you incorporate the body of work, you understand why Dion is number 1. But that individual season, nobody was messing with Revis, dog. Ed Reed, most people got as the best safety of all time. I don't really debate that. Ed is definitely the best center fielder I can recall ever watching. He did it all. They got the Super Bowl ring. He was a legend. I have no problem with where he's at on this list. Actually, that's fine with me. Charles Woodson, man. My favorite corner of all time. For anybody that don't know, only defensive player to win the Heisman in college at Michigan. He was just played corner, but also transitioned to safety later on in his career. He was just a football genius, man. Like, love the guy to death. He's my favorite corner, one of my idols. For y'all that when I used to play flag football, my football jersey on the back, my flag football jersey said Woodson the third. I should tell everybody Charles Woodson was my granddaddy because of just the skill set. Love the guy to death. I have no problems with that. Gronk might be too high because I think they give him credit for the Super Bowls. Stats wise, Gronk was always getting hurt, so he never really had the stats like all the time. Like, he had a couple of good seasons, but the stats wasn't never really there. But the Super Bowls is what kind of threw him over the mark, and he made big plays in the playoffs, big plays that you're gonna always remember for the rest of your life. So I understand it from that standpoint. Like Travis, I would probably have Travis above Gronk. Me personally, having tight ends this high is a new thing because tight ends are now being featured. Like Travis Kelce he's gonna have some crazy tight end records by the time he's done. Just playing with Patrick and Andy Reid, that's just gonna help him out a lot. Drew Brees at 15 is like, quarterbacks get sometimes too much credit. Drew Brees was a consistent guy, Hall of Fame guy, everything of that. He got himself a Super Bowl. I just don't know 15 because there's so much other players like Troy. I don't think Drew Brees belongs above Troy. Troy was a staple to that Steelers defense. He was a game changer, man. For y'all that appreciate the safety position, that don't just look at it like, all right, he's a free safety. He catching picks. Troy played at the line of scrimmage. He caught picks. He created fumbles. He got sacks. Jumping across the line. Them iconic plays. Him jumping across the line. Like, him getting tackled by his hair because they just couldn't stop Troy. Troy was all over the place, man. Troy is one of the best football players I've ever seen. He's an all-around football player. You can put Troy anywhere on the field, and he can make an impact. So I think he should be above Drew Brees. I would also put Brett Favre above Drew Brees. We all know Brett Favre threw a lot of picks, but he was a gunslinger, man. He was gonna let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, since 2000. Yeah, okay. I can see it. He had like some great seasons before 2000, actually, but we're just trying to take this thing from the year 2000. So AP is the first running back on this list. He won the MVP in 2012. I remember that season. He had 2,000 rushing yards. You know what? I'm actually okay with this. As we think about full totality careers, it's been some times where you might have said this running back or that running back was better than AP, but for the span of 8 years, AP was arguably the best running back in the league, the most explosive. He can stop and go like no other. Powerful. Um, he had some trouble holding on to the ball, but a 2,000-yard season for a running back ain't nothing to sneeze at, mainly because not only you being featured, but you got to be able to stay healthy. So he's from 2000, I can see it. He's probably been the most consistent running back. Michael Strahan, he did win DPOY in 01, so I get it. Great player. Never had too many super dominant seasons. He had the 122 sack season, but outside of that, he was just Mr. Consistent and played a long time, so he got the stats over a period of time. You know what I'm saying? He was a game-changing player. To be 19 since 2000, that's being held in really high regard. A clear-cut Hall of Famer. It might be some pass rushers I can think of since 2000 that probably should be on this list. We had 2 defensive tackles. He's the first end that we're seeing on this list. So, okay, let's keep going. LT. Because we are talking about 2000. So, LT with the Chargers was a dominant force. LT, Adrian Peterson. Okay, that's actually fine. That's fine. If we compare them career to career, LT had a fantastic career. I hate that they have this Jets picture of him as a picture of him. They don't have a Chargers picture, which is kind of disrespectful to LT. But LT was best stiff arm in the game by far. One of the best stiff arms you'll ever see down the sideline. Great footwork, great body control. Definitely Hall of Fame, of course. I'm not really too mad at it. It's just this list is kind of crazy. Marshall Faulk, part of the greatest show on turf, did it as a running back and a receiver, one of the best receiving backs in the world. Was one of the first people to make the receiving back thing kind of cool. Pretty sure he had the 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving yard thing. He might have been the first to do that too. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I think Marshall Faulk might have been the first to do that. So now we kind of stacking up on running backs. I can see. So let's see what else is going on here. Warren Sapp. Oh man. That's an interesting one. Now it's another defensive tackle. Warren Sapp was clearly one of the greatest of all time. And as great as Warren Sapp is, I don't see Warren Sapp being better than, what Aaron Donald and jjwatt did in their careers, how dominant they were. Warren Sapp was a dominant force, but he played also around a time where there was more people, but we're talking about since 2000, so they won that Super Bowl. They won that Super Bowl in 2002. Buccaneers did. Okay, let's just see who's behind him. See if I think anybody should go ahead of him. Went too far. Well, our first lineman is Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is a legend. One of the best tackles in the game by far. I'm a proponent of offensive linemen. I think more offensive linemen should have been on this list. In my opinion, I think they getting slept on. I think it's a lot of positions getting slept on. We haven't seen any any linebackers. We saw Ray, but that's about it. The Luke Kuechly's of the world, who am I saying? Brian Urlacher's, like people like that. People who are just forces. I don't know, but what I will say is about tackle. Joe Thomas was a staple. I'm not mad at him. I'm actually happy he's a tackle on here. I don't know if he's the best tackle since 2000, or maybe guard or center, but I don't know. Let's just keep going real quick. Tony Gonzalez, he has all the tight end records right now, which is kind of weird because I don't really know what they're doing this list off of. I don't know if it's off of impact or what, but, you know, that's kind of weird because if they were going to do it like that, then Tony Gonzalez should have been above the other two tight ends. He don't got the Super Bowl, so I guess they're incorporating Super Bowls, which is weird for a tight end. But he got all the records that, you know, Travis Kelce's trying to break. Tony Gonzalez was a force. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really upset at it. I just don't like how it's not much variety of the positions as they do this. Derek Brooks was a dog. I have no problem with Derek Brooks being right here. Derek Brooks was a dog. One of the best linebackers I ever watched play. The way he can move. Made that Tampa 2 defense work along with Warren Sapp was there. John Lynch, them boys, you know, Ron Day. You know, they made that work. Like, in order to run that defense, you had to have the players on defense to play that style. And yeah, like he made that Tampa 2 defense. He was one of the main reasons it works. If you've never seen Derek Brooks play, you should. He's definitely worth being on this list. But man, I feel like first 5 out is about to be crazy. So Jonathan Ogden, me personally, might be the best left tackle that ever played. So he would be way higher up on my list. Jonathan Ogden was a force. People don't understand how good he actually was, especially being a part of that Ravens team. And they weren't a super prolific offense. They ran the ball a lot. But he was probably the best just straight up individual left tackle I think I've seen play ever. I would have to look at some other people and think about that. But I would have him above Joe Thomas myself. Larry Fitzgerald, he's second in receptions and receiving yards behind Jerry Rice. He played a long time. The only problem is Larry never was all pro. Like, Larry played at a time where he was always consistent. He always made noise and he had them great runs, but I don't know, man. He never had those extra prolific seasons that much. Like the Randy Mosses and why other people got these people ahead of him. But as far as a staple of consistency, that has to be said for something. He should be on a list like this. I don't know if 27 might be too high for Larry, but I love Harry. Hands personified. Best hands out of any football player I think I've ever seen. Orlando Pace literally is also one of the best tackles I've ever seen play. He also played on that, you know, that Greatest Show on Turf team. You got to be able to protect Kurt Warner. They made it happen. Running the ball, passing the ball, so he has to get credit for that. Marvin Harrison and T.O. this is a weird combination for me because T.O. I also think is in the top 3 receivers. I think the top 3 receivers of all time is Jerry is by far number 1. Then you got Randy and T.O. who are pretty close by each other. After you get past Randy and T.O., Marvin Harrison, them is in the very next group. He could be in the top 5. He might be number 5 if I really was to think about it. But yeah, that's where it gets a little weird because now it's like, how is T.O. all the way down here? I'm not sure. But, well, you know, so that's the list. I think it was a pretty interesting list. What I might do is y'all drop some likes and let me know in the comments if I should make my own personal list of who I actually think should be in the top 25 players since 2000. I know that's a real hard thing to do because that's like 24 years of stuff you got to look at. But I think there's certain players that made an impact that I don't really see on the list as much as I would want to see them on the list. You know, like when we talk about receivers, if we talk about since 2000, because when you think of T.O. started playing before 2000. Marvin Harrison started playing before 2000, right? If you talk about since 2000, you got the ABs and the Julios as far as wide receivers go, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then corners, you got like people like Champ Bailey. You know what I'm saying? It's just players that are kind of going under the radar, right? Like, I don't know, man. Just I don't know. It's an interesting thing, man. So this was fun, man. Like I said, man, this is LIB Media, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Y'all check us out. We do got an Instagram page now that we're trying to get up and popping, so y'all can follow us on that, man. We'll have the links for that stuff in the description as well. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this has been fun, man. If y'all see any other lists y'all want me to react to, man, this is what I love doing. I love just seeing what's out there and seeing what's going on, man. So I'm gonna get up with y'all later, man. Y'all take it easy. Y'all enjoy the weekend. I'm out.